boy Bleeds. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on? Welcome to the Bleaves Crypto Show. My name's Bleaves. We're here to talk about cryptocurrency, what's going on in the markets. And guys, it looks like it is your lucky lifetime. It is my belief that we are at the dawn of altcoin season. Now, did it happen as quickly as we wanted? No. Was it a bumpy ride along the way? Yes. Have we all made $1 million yet? No. But will we? The answer to that is a resounding yes. The thing that we've been talking about for a long period of time happening is finally happening. Ethereum is breaking out. Ethereum very close right now to an all-time high. We are currently at 46.74. Ethereum actually drawing back from a peak of 47.34 just a few short moments ago. So I guess what we're trying to say is congratulations, you made it. But we're just at the beginning. This could be the start of a massive, massive rally. We're going to look at the data. We're going to see what it tells us. And we're going to get a really good idea of what's going to happen next. And look, just like anything else, we're guessing. Everybody, we're guessing. We're just trying to figure it out, okay? But there are signs along the way. And when you find those signs, you have to pay attention to them. You have to treat them like they matter because ultimately they do. So hit the like button on your way in. Let's get after it. We got Maddie B in the house, Jay Manuel in the house, Latama's in the house, Washington Heights General. We got Coin on Crypto in the house, legends here. Let's get into it. All right, first off, bull market indicators. 0 bull market indicators have been triggered. What does that mean for you? That means all you have to do at this point, if you've made good decisions, is just continue to hold. That's all you have to do, okay? And we're going to be talking about 5 altcoins today that if you have them, you are probably going to be in very, very, very good shape, okay? This is going to help you tremendously. So we have no bull market indicators, none at all. So whatever shall we do with that? Well, the answer is very, very simple. Just hold on for dear life. Okay. Hold on for dear life and you are going to be fine. We've got breakouts happening as we speak. There are movements in the market and it's getting exciting. Okay. It's getting very, very, very exciting. So if you're excited, make sure you put something in chat. Let me know that you are excited for altcoin season. Do you feel finally like it's altcoin season? All right, before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also, look how pretty this was. I did altcoin season. I did it with a slanted font like I'm cool, like all of the others. So I'm trying to work on new things for the channel to continue to grow. And I think that was going to be one of those things because it seems to be that people like that, you know. So I found a way to do it, which was the cool part. That's why I'm super excited and I'm telling you about it because for a long time I've been using Canva. Canva doesn't do that. Then somebody told me to switch over to some other place and I'm like, well, you know, that doesn't really make any sense either. And then I started looking into it and I found a way to do it very simply, very easily every single day. So now everything's going to be slanted and white and yellow and just, you know what I'm talking about. You see the videos all the time. Crypto bubbles. Let's talk what's going on with crypto bubbles right now. And we're going to start at the very beginning. Here we are, okay? OKX token just broke out 128%. The OKX token just broke out 128%. Guys, that's what we're looking for. This is where altcoin feel it. This is where we're starting to feel it. Now, in the event that you're looking for something else, if you're looking for lower caps, not yet. We're not exactly there yet. We got L in the house. Good morning. Derek Hine. Good morning. Karen Waters. Good morning. Roy G in the house. So where does that leave us? Well, Ray up 20%, Fartcoin almost 30%, Solana is up 14%. Guys, did you see what's happening with Solana? $204 just a few moments ago. This is another test of $200. If it's successful, then the breakout's going to happen and we're shortly going to reach an all-time high. Now, the problem with it the last time was Ethereum was not breaking out, so it wasn't pulling everything along. Well, guess what? Ethereum is now breaking out, which means that it is dragging everything along. And when that liquidity cascade happens. Now, here's the other part. I think that when we hit 4,800, when we finally hit that altcoin, the top of Ethereum, which should be today, maybe tomorrow. If it doesn't happen today or tomorrow, if we get a drawdown, then I would suspect that the next round is not going to be Ethereum. I think the next round is going to be Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin is going to really, really surge. And then we're going to see that 132,000 Bitcoin. By the way, I changed my take profit from 124,000 up to 132,000. There's no reason for me to even stop it at this point. So remember that old long that we were sitting on? I'm still sitting on it. I still haven't changed it. So we're going to let that one ride. I do think that once that triggers, that's going to trigger another rally by Ethereum, and then boom, altcoin season begins. This right now is just a test to see where we are. And I'm going to show you some data on that in just a moment. But BitGet is up 10% on the day. Caspa 12%. These are names that we haven't seen breaking out in a while. And that means speculative money is starting to come in. Now, if you have a speculative asset, if you have a speculative project, then you should see, or you should be seeing a pump, provided that the marketing has been good, that they've let people know they're out here, that things are happening. And by the way, remember the chat bubbles. When these bubbles start to blow up, they're based on the money coming in versus how much is going into one versus what's coming out, et cetera, et cetera. So when you've got 23 and 24% looking like these little small bubbles, a lot of money's coming into this market right now. We've got checks coming in. We've got Scale back in the news at 41% increase. Camino up 18.7%. Arrow, by the way, Arrow breaking out, going to be one of our gems, by the way. Arrow seems like it's really, really, once you look at Arrow, you probably get Arrow has a really big opportunity to really kind of take over the space. And I'll explain to you why in just a moment, because I think it's important and it hasn't happened yet, but it will. I'm hoping that some other things happen, but I get a real sense here that Aerodrome is going to be an exciting project because it's a financial institution. You know what? We'll get into it in just a moment. Then in the 4 to 500s, we got everybody's starting to pump just a little bit. Everybody's starting to pump. Nub, Kelbell, shout out to Kelbell, up 51% on the day. And she's been shilling this thing like absolute bonkers for, what is it, a year now? So finally getting a nice little move off of it. So you got to be happy when you see something like that happening. You got Banana up 25.7%. By the way, I think most of this, it should be safe to say that this kind of massive move here probably just dumped DevvE back down a few levels. I don't know exactly where DevvE is right now in the market. Let's go look at it right now. 596 actually. So DevvE is 596. Was at 54 cents a little while ago, is back down in the 53.87 cents. Not really surging when we, again, we'd like to see this thing surge. We'd like to see that kind of movement here, but nothing really happening. And by the way, that does not change my bullishness. I do think that's going to be one of my hot ones because because I know what's coming. I understand and trust the process, but other people don't know because they've done a very poor job at marketing so far. All right. And by the way, it's not just me. It's not just Austin. It's not just the people who talk about DevvE. It's, getting it out there in front of the masses of people. We're a refined sort of small niche in this market, so we only have so much reach. It's going to take an institution making that announcement. And by the way, 2 months, I think. It's going to be my estimation that the reason that the roadmap was set up the way that it was, the reason everything is the way that it is, and I think this new institution probably wants to make a splash during that market. So I would really get a sense here that if they're not speeding it up, that it should be finalized within the next 2 months. So I think that get ready, because I think DevvE is about to go on that big ride finally. Remember, one of the first things on their roadmap for the final phase, which was October, November, December, was the joint partnership announcement. So I think it's going to be closer to October than November. So, and that'll correspond with the continued rise in market price. And by the way, we don't know exactly where that is. We're going to talk about it in just a moment, because there is potentially an extension of this market. Like, we might be looking at a crazy dip that we're going to be able to play to get in on that 30 RS when the fear and greed index goes back down to 30. Remember, we talk about this all the time. I think we might have that opportunity coming up very, very soon. I'm going to show it to you on the money flow, and then we'll see what happens with money flow after that. Also, Bitcoin fear and greed index really cooking right now at 73. The money coming off of exchanges, not really flowing very heavily off of exchanges right now. When you look at it, it's just kind of sideways action. You can see that right there. Right there, we've just kind of, it's Bitcoin season. It seems to be kind of waning. Now, that's the question, is whether or not we can get a surge, get that final surge, and get that breakout escape velocity, whatever you might call it. But let's go look at what's the volume look like. Ethereum, $9 billion in trade volume for the last 24 hours. Solana, 3.4. BSC 1.9. So this is what we've been looking for. We're finally seeing exactly what this is where altcoin season comes from. And guess what? All of the people who've been dumping on Ethereum all of this time, guess what they just realized? Hey, you know what? Ethereum is now secure. Ethereum is now faster. Ethereum is now much less expensive. Remember, the last bull run, Ethereum prices were in the $100 to $200 ranges for a transaction, being incredibly prohibitive from people getting into this ecosystem. So that's not the case anymore. Right now, you're sending transactions for $1 maybe, which, by the way, still expensive compared to some other ones. But it's really inexpensive to make these transactions, and that's what Ethereum has needed for a long time. Also, flows in the ETF yesterday, 65 million in inflows on Bitcoin. On the Ethereum ETF, guess what? 124,000. You know what that means? You know what that number is going to end up being right here? USD, $500 million in inflows on the Ethereum ETF, which takes us up to 11.39 billion. Folks, 3 months ago, we were talking about being up $2 billion on the Ethereum ETF, and I told you that it was headed to 10 billion. And guess what? Here we are. That's what we're starting to. And by the way, once we're at 10 billion, I think it's going to start up and away. We're going to continue this run right now. We're not done yet. And remember, we haven't even gotten the staking announcement. You never know when that's coming. But when it does, it's going to get absolutely chaotic and crazy. So let's talk about the 5 different cryptos that I think you need to have. But before we get started, we're going to lead off with what you should have your money in, okay? And by that, I mean, look, if you are trading crypto, there's 5 cryptos that I think are going to have really significant runs. But it is my opinion that if you are savvy and smart about the cryptocurrency space, then the number one asset that you need to have is Bitcoin. And look, I'm not telling you how to invest or anything like that. And I'm not telling you that today is the day that you should buy Bitcoin. I'm telling you that all of your winnings, all of your earnings, everything should be going into your Bitcoin portfolio for the long term. Now, I'm going to say something here that's going to be controversial, and some of you are probably not going to like it. Every altcoin is going to zero, okay? Every altcoin will eventually fall. Bitcoin will stay. Now, the reason for that is because Bitcoin's not a business. Bitcoin is a store of value. Bitcoin will continue to be more difficult to mine, more difficult to create more, and it has a finite limit of 21 million. There are currently 171 millionaires, 171 million millionaires in the United, or 75 million millionaires. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind here. 75 million millionaires in the world. Okay. There's not enough Bitcoin for all of them. Every millionaire cannot have one Bitcoin. What does that do to the value? And of course, as the money printers continue and we become billionaires, and eventually there's going to be a trillionaire out there. And guess what? What does the value of risk assets become at that point? What does the value of a store of value? Gold is going to go crazy. Bitcoin is digital gold going to go crazy. The rest of it, look, there is a possibility that XRP survives. There's a possibility that Ethereum survives for now. But better projects are going to come along. So the one place where your money is going to be the most secure, and by the way, it's not secure, it's a risk asset, but the most secure is going to be Bitcoin. No question about it. No question about it. So with that being said, the number one asset that you should probably have some of right now for this bull run is going to be XRP. This is not speculative sort of asset mongering in this regard. Okay. This is the asset that will probably have the most significant pump. Ethereum, if we go back to 1400, and we say from 1400 to where we are now at 4800, then you're talking about a nice big 3.5x. We've already had a 6x on XRP, and it is my estimation we're going to get another 7x at least on XRP, making it a high dollar, lower risk asset when it comes down to it. We've provided clarity in the market. There's no excuses now for institutions not to get involved. By October 11, we're going to have an XRP ETF, and this thing is going to absolutely launch and soar. And it is also my belief that XRP, because of the sense of their community and because of the fact that the Trump administration, look, they're very calculated. Okay. So they're going to give to the largest group of people what they want. Okay. So Bitcoin holders got what they wanted. Ethereum holders are getting and are going to get what they wanted. And so are XRP holders. And that's going to be cross-border transactions. And XRP is going to lead that market. So the value of this project will become it's going to go absolutely insane. It is my belief that you should have, I mean, at least 10,000 XRP. And you should have a nice little run. If that's 30 grand, whatever it is, I mean, that'll be $250,000 for you at the end of that. Next one up is going to be Aerodrome. Now, why am I bullish on Aerodrome? Well, this becomes complicated here. Here's my thesis and my thinking on it. And by the way, Aerodrome today is up another 9%. This was at 75 cents the other day. It was at 26 cents in April. So it's up, I mean, what are we talking? 5x right now? Again, this is outperforming Ethereum. If you zoom out and you go for that bottom where Ethereum was bottoming out, I mean, if you go to it and you look at it, there you have it. If you bought right here, then guess what? You're about to experience an enormous amount of growth. Okay. Why are you going to do that? Aerodrome Financial is an institutional grade financial product that provides you with, where did I put my, what the fuck is Aerodrome thing? Damn it. I actually had, there we go. I actually had brought this up for you guys to look at. Aerodrome is a decentralized exchange and automated market maker built on the Base network. That's the part that I think matters the most. I think that Base is going to be one of those things that is just going to become ubiquitous with cryptocurrency before it's all said and done. And why is that? Because Coinbase is one of the leaders of the industry. This is their blockchain and it's free. So as it gets more secure, as it gets better equipped, a lot of institutions will be a part of Base. So aiming to become the primary liquidity hub. It leverages the Velodrome V2 model, incorporating features like a powerful liquidity incentive engine, vote lock governance, and a user-friendly interface. Essentially, it's a platform where users can trade cryptocurrencies and provide liquidity, earning rewards in return. Nothing special beyond what anybody else is doing. We're not recreating the wheel. Except, again, it's a sleek interface, which is nice to see. But the important part is it's in the right place at the right time. And that is at the forefront of the Base revolution. And I think that Base, because it is, there's no fee on Base for transactions, I think that makes it one of those institutions will be using Aerodrome. Institutions will be using Base. And we already have evidence of that, by the way. When over, in fact, $1 billion in trade volume happens every single day on the Base chain. It also gives you, it has a liquidity hub. It's got the AMM functionality. The incentive system distributes trading fees and incentives for other protocols to the V Arrow holders, creating a system where those who vote for specific liquidity pools also benefit from the fees generated by those pools. So this thing is actually pulling in revenue. This is actually making money for people. 100% of the protocol's revenue, including trading fees and incentives from other protocols, is distributed to the Arrow lockers. So this is I think one of those opportune moments for you to get into a project that really could have a tremendous upside. And remember, we're talking about the Base blockchain. It's at $1 billion right now. I mean, you zoom out here, you look at it over 1 year, not a lot of movement over the course of 1 year. All time, not a huge amount of movement. I mean, you're talking about 20, 30x. Like it's not, it's not really had its bull run yet. That I think is an imperative right there. It hasn't had its bull run moment yet. So we're price discovery at this point. Like we have no idea how high it's going to go. But it's my estimation that we've got at least another $3.83. Remember, we did this thesis when we were at this 20 cent range. Like we were already looking at it for a 15x or something like that. So we were already super bullish on Arrow. So I think that it's going to have a breakout and it's going to go absolutely nanners. Next one up, Pendle. Okay. What is Pendle? Here we go. So you guys can see it. I'm just going to use this as an easy one. It's a decentralized finance protocol that allows users to tokenize and trade future yield. Okay, so what this does, and this is where institutions come into play, and this is what I think people are missing about Pendle. And to be fair, I don't think people are really missing anything about Pendle. Pendle is valued, I want to say, at about 800 million market cap right now. And of course, I just closed Coin Market Cap because I'm up to 940 million market cap right now, breaking out over the last what is this, 2 years or so? Let's go to 1 month. There we go. Yeah, up big since August 5. August 5 was trading at $3.80 today, $5.60. I am a Pendle holder. I have 2,000 Pendle. That's, I guess, for full disclosure. I have 2,000 Pendle. And I hopefully it's going to have a nice run. But what is Pendle? All right. So what this does, and this is crazy, by the way, this allows you to trade and sell. Like you can stake your Pendle. For example, you can stake $1 million worth of Pendle today with the anticipated yield being, 10%, right? You can borrow against that $100,000 and you can tokenize that future yield and you can sell it to somebody else if you need cash right now. Now, there is some risk involved because just like anything else, if the price goes down, well, you've got to meet your margin. So There's only so much, and you could get liquidated and you could lose it. Like, you are putting a risk on this, but this allows you, and this is going to allow institutions to trade. And again, I'm using it as a dollar value. Most people would use it as a Pendle amount, knowing that it's going to be variable, but there is a cash balance that you would have to do. And the yield is probably going to be, I said 100%, but it's probably going to be closer to 50 to allow for some position differentials there. But this allows user to speculate on hedge against future yield fluctuations and potentially earn higher returns. So this is where, again, this is where the institutional markets come in, where they can earn free money for basically doing nothing. Okay. And then not only can they earn that money, they can go ahead and take that money now as a risk and use that money. Like, for example, again, $1 million you put into Pendle, you're going to get $100,000 in future yield, right? So you can take that $100,000 today and put it on Bitcoin. Ta-da. So if that doubles, then you've got you've made $100,000, and then all you have to do is win. So you're going to see a lot of people getting involved in Pendle over the next little while. And at a 900 million market cap, I am telling you right now that it is my belief that Pendle is probably worth another 10x to 15x from where it is right now. This is an institutional grade marvel. And I'm telling you that I think it's going to be $18.95. But when we gave you that call, it was down here in the $3 range. So we're predicting another 6x up there. Yeah, 52,631, probably going to become a millionaire. So Pendle is another one that I think is going to absolutely explode. Another one. Now, guys, I am still incredibly bullish on DevvE. DevvE, to me, is the jewel of this next crown, okay? Now, why do I say that? It is my belief, firm belief, and I have no evidence to back it up other than my own investigation, which, by the way, I should say, nobody from DevvE has confirmed or denied anything. So we have nothing to go on in that regard, okay? However, it is my firm belief, because of some research that I did a long time ago, that DevvE's partner, when it is announced, and because it's so imperative that everything be perfect for them, is NASDAQ, all right? That they have partnered with NASDAQ and that they are going to be the exchange that NASDAQ uses for institutional grade transactions. Also, they have announced that they have a public shard, which is going to be available. Now, if you don't know what a public shard is, it's a public blockchain. That's all. It's just the shard is just one area of their blockchain that everybody is going to be able to use. And they're going to launch that over the next, I want to say 30 days. Sometime in the next 30 to 45 days, we will see the launch of the public shard for beta testing at least. And that will allow people to start growing in this ecosystem, which means that you'll be able to create a swap for anybody who wants to trade DeFi. You can use their protocols, and that's going to be a place where we can grow, where we can expand. And I think that's an important thing. I don't think that that's the linchpin, though. The linchpin to this is the partnership, the Dev exchange, and the list, everything that goes on in relation to NASDAQ. Now, if you guys remember, I talked to and I got on with XAI Grok, and I asked it a question one day. And the question that I asked was for it to predict the price of, and I got to go back here a little bit, but I wanted to predict the price if I was right. Okay. This was the question. The question was going to be, let's do this here. Because now I got to remember exactly where I did it, because I want to say that it was probably in June, but what I did was, there we go. Shit, I'm not even gonna know where to find it. Now, the problem is What it said was DevVE's price when the announcement is made, because of the importance of NASDAQ, it's going to go between $25 and $75. Now, I've said since the beginning that it was going to go to $50 because that, to me, was going to be the start of the rally point. And now I want to zoom out so that you guys can get an idea of what I'm talking about with DevvE. So with DevvE, currently trading at 54 cents. Okay. Now at 54 cents, it's at a 50 million market cap right now. Okay. So 50 million market cap means that it's going to have to 20x to go to a billion. Does that make sense? 20x from 50 makes it a billion. Okay. So 20x from here is $10.60, right? $10.80. Let's call it $10.80. So basically $11. So to go to a billion market cap, and then the question that you have to ask yourself at this point, it's a simple question. Is a partnership with NASDAQ during a bull run worth a billion market cap? And the answer to that should be absolutely. Absolutely. Because let me also point out the reason that I come up with this synopsis, and that is because the biggest partner with SWE is Franklin Templeton. Franklin Templeton, which is not NASDAQ, by the way, but their market value, $13.9 billion. That's not the only thing in the SWE ecosystem, by the way. I'm not saying that it is, but what I'm saying is these partnerships matter. When you look at the largest chains, when you look at the partnerships established between these large chains, then you realize that major players are using these ecosystems to create products in. So major corporations are getting involved. Guess what? If you're with NASDAQ, major corporations are going to get involved. Now, that means $10.80, but I think that at a minimum, it's going to be worth $5 billion with NASDAQ. Now, let's come down here. Does that make it more valuable than Monero? I think so. BitTensor? I would think so. Mantle? Duh. I mean, I would think so. Like we're looking at names over here where there's no comparison. There's no comparison. OKX? Are you kidding me? 6.3 billion market cap. Something that's with NASDAQ isn't an exchange with NASDAQ is not more valuable than an exchange OKX or BitGet, which are both trading at about 5 billion market cap. So my thesis here is that we're going to see a 50 billion market cap, or a $5 billion market cap on DevvE in very short order. And if that happens, then DevvE is going all the way to $50. And you need 20,000 DevvE to become a millionaire. Now, this is pie in the sky when it comes down to it, but also remember what we're talking about. We're talking about millions of transactions per second, which is not necessary right now, but will be necessary at some point in the future. We're talking about zero instantaneous settlements, which is what institutional grades require, nay, they demand. And that puts them on a level with very few other projects right now. And if they can take advantage of this before others come along and kind of steal the thunder, and I don't know that they can or cannot, but if they can beat everybody else to the market, it's going to be fantastic. If they can't beat everybody else to the market, but they can still be in that niche, still $5 billion out of nowhere. And guess what that is? 200x or so from where we currently are. I mean, that's a crazy number to think of, right? That's just it's 100x. 100x from where we currently are. But what if it goes to 10 billion or 15 billion? I mean, that's a potential. If you had 20,000 DevvE, that's a potential for millions upon millions of dollars. Like, guys, you would have made it. You would have made it with DevvE. And I am convinced that this partnership reveal is going to be a monumental moment that is going to cause just the wildest breakout. Like, this is going to be the next big thing that propels up into that top 25, top 50, just by virtue of that name. So, I can't tell you what to get. I can't tell you what to do, but I could say, in my opinion, you probably should have a little bit. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. So get yourself some DevvE and just give it a little bit of patience. And finally, DeFinity. Now, the reason that DeFinity rings my bell here is not necessarily because of marketing, not necessarily because of any other reason than this. We are in a situation where institutions are taking over crypto, and this is an institutional digital asset and Forex trading protocol. Now, to give you guys full disclosure, there is some inside workings right now with DeFinity that could be game changing. I won't spill any beans because they're not my beans to spill. There is some conversation going on right now about a massive paradigm shift in the level of institutional interest in DeFinity. So there is a tremendous possibility of an absolute breakout in DeFinity over the next little while. Now, it is in this little channel and it is in this little trend right here, and it does need to break towards this upside. We need some bullish momentum, and there will be bullish momentum very, very shortly. But this is not an old project. This is a fairly new project, and institutional grade traders need places for institutional grade trading. Well, what if DeFinity gets integrated with some of these institutional platforms that allows for this to happen? Well, then what is the value of that project at that point? So what if DeFinity shows up on the base chain where institution seems to gravitate? What if DevvE and NASDAQ are actually partners? And what if in some way DeFinity is involved with that? They're not, but what if they were? What if, and they're already on Ethereum, so it's already out there and it's already available, but it needs some regulation, which is, we're getting clarity in the market. So it is my belief that DeFinity might be that next big upside. And again, let's go back and let's round it completely out. The token, by the way, for DeFinity is DFX, DEFX. They are currently ranked number 5,170. They have a $5 million market cap, $6 million market cap. Okay. This is why I'm more bullish on it. Okay. This is why I'm more excited about DeFinity than anything else. It's only got a $6 million market cap. And I know that there's some stuff being worked on that could just be a real big shift in the way that DeFinity elevates its game, if you will. So watch for DeFinity over the next bunch of days. Okay. Now, if you're looking for meme coins, CC coin, this ecosystem, you know that I'm a big holder. You know that I consider this to be a gem. You know that I consider what these guys are doing to be really, really nice so far. So if you haven't already, get yourself some CC coin, 174,000 market cap. Don't forget Bud 2, 144,000 market cap. Blockchain Beauties, 51,000 market cap. Going down the list here, there's plenty of different opportunity here. CC Cash. And by the way, not only that, it's very simple right here. If you have CC, you hold the main token of the ecosystem. But also, if you hold CC Cash, you receive Solana. And if you have Bud 2, you receive CC Coin. And if you have CCR, then you add liquidity and you receive CCR you stake your CCR. God damn it, please get your shit together. You stake CCC, pair it with Solana, and you get CCR as reward. Those are the Coins Chick rewards. So there is an ecosystem built out here, ready for a breakout, and rewarding you with Solana, rewarding you with CC Coin, rewarding you with CCR. The only thing left is for retail and attention to show back up. And by the way, when I say that, it is time right now, because I actually saw my friend Miles put this out just a little while ago, and I thought, uh-oh, yeah, that actually, this is what you want to see right there. Miles has been checking out some of these searches that are going on the internet about, what are the what's Google doing right now. Google searches for altcoins just entered price discovery. He's joking about it, but Google's, this is Look at this right here. Altcoin searches, altcoins in the past 5 years from Google searches. Over here was the last bull run. Right there. This is where we are today, okay? It has spiked, so it is about to happen. All the pieces for any thesis should all be matching up right now. So get yourself some, because retail is back here. We got Roger in the house. Says, I will get rich with DevvE. Then we pump Rocky, Blocky, and 100x Solana. So there you have it. Once we get a big run on DevvE, which again, I do think is coming very, very, a lot sooner than we probably think. Certainly not today, maybe today, but, we will have a big run. When we have that big run, guess what? Everything in these ecosystems, don't forget. And I think this is important to point out. There is some risk involved, of course, when you're listening to, whatever pie in the sky I'm giving you. By the way, altcoin season 51 right now. We are not at altcoin season, but we had a nice little surge. We are about to get there though. Okay. And probably no fake out this time. We're probably going to get it very, very soon. By the way, look at the last time we got the surge like this. The last time we got the surge, we should note this. This is the surge, right? This is the surge. And then what happened? Boom, boom, boom. We had a little test right there and then dump, and then it went crazy. Right now, that same thesis is playing out. So we might have a little downward momentum and then a breakout from there. All right. Thesis again. Thesis. Just a guess. Just guessing. All right. So anyway, I think that we're gonna, let's put it this way. DevvE breaks out. All the people that are in DevvE are people that we've met along the way, that are in Blocky, that are in Rocky, that are in 100x Gems. They're in No One Will Know. Some of them are in CCC. Some of them are in WeSoul. Some of them are in all kinds of different ones, right? They're in all kinds of different ones. By the way, WeSoul, if you didn't, you got to send in your tokens. They're launching a V2. And once I get some tokens, I'll know more about it at that point. But for right now, I have no idea. So, and also Meme Linked, I did go into the contest. I did make a video for Meme Linked. Hopefully I win. If I win, I get $100 of Meme Linked, and we'll hold on to that and we'll see how it goes. But again, Meme Linked, I think, is one of those with an opportunity to, just get a nice little 100x off of it, 500 million market cap. And again, that's a pie in the sky. I gave you guys CC coin saying that it would be a success at 10 million market cap. But I'm giving you MK saying it'd be about a 500 million market cap for them, just based on the fact that they have a much higher market cap. They've had much more exposure with things like Volt and stuff like that, who've had successful big 250 million market cap runs, stuff like that. So there are levels to it. It would be a tremendous success for CC Coin to go to 10 million, but it would have to be a 500 million market cap for Meme Linked at this point to be on that legendary run. Just science, brah. So, and by the way, if Meme Linked went to 100 million market cap, I would still consider it a success. But again, it's just, there's different levels because there's different dollar amounts that are involved here. So, OM Mantra is at 2810. We're starting to see movement. We're starting to see tests. We're not seeing the breakout on it, but we are still continuing to see these tests every day. We've got tremendous upside. It looks like we found the bottom. That's the important part, was finding the bottom. There was an attempt over here, right? We came down here, then we had that reversal, and then we had that test, and then it broke down, right? We did the same thing over here. Then we had the breakdown, and guess what? It broke down to a higher low, which generally means that the downward momentum is over and the upward trajectory can now begin again. And guess what? We're into altcoin season. Look, it is going to be surprising to me if Mantra doesn't go to $1 pretty soon. Like, it's going to be, it would be a shocker to me if it didn't go back up to about $1 billion market cap. I think that's, let's go to price over here. There's some levels to where I think it's going to be, but right there at $1 is, like, I think this kind of run right here, like, I think we're going to see something like that happen very, very soon. People are going to be like, you come back over here. And again, I'm not putting too much to it, but this little dump and jump right there kind of looks like it happened right there. I think any moment now we're going to see a breakout there. I don't know how high it goes. I don't know, what the value ends up being. Don't know any of that. But I do think $1 is in the cards right there. Then $1.65 is a big spot right there. So that's trade volume. So maybe we see a move into $1.65. This is the ultimate goal for me. When I get to this spot right here, I will say that this has been a tremendous success for me. I don't know that that's the end of the run, but this is going to be my getting off point right there. And then if I get out in the $3.50 to $4 range and it dips back down into the $1.65 range very, very quickly and very, very rapidly, then what's going to happen instead of me getting out is going to be me getting out and getting back in, and then riding it up to the next level, whatever that next level might be. By the way, spoiler alert, that next level is about $6.50. So but that would be about a $6.5 billion market cap for the project. It has about 1 billion tokens, just so you guys know. So when you're looking at this, 1 billion market cap is $1. So I think it's what's going to happen. And will it break out to the all-time high? To me, it's a stretch because of the breakdown, but I don't think that there's some I think this thing is going to break out and take on a life of its own very, very soon, because it did it before and it's going to do it again. As we get in there, people are going to be like, oh my God, we're going to run this back one more time. There's no longer a distribution that's unfavorable to investors. It's been worked on, it's been fixed, it's been taken care of. So the high dollar amount investors are no longer there putting their risk out there and jeopardizing you with this kind of fall. So, and their partners have maintained, and it's the same partners. By the way, this is the important part. The same partners that drove them to a $10 billion market cap are still there, plus more. So it is only a matter of time before institutional grade investors start to look at this again and say, you know what, it is time to run this sumbitch back, because this is where you're going to earn money. This is what it comes down to. Earning money. And Mantra as a chain actually earns money. So, and by the way, not a lot of chains do. So, when you find one that's profitable, you want to make some profit off of it. So anyway, market overall, 47 billion. We're up on the day. Was a little bit higher a little while ago. It was up about almost 100 billion at one point in the night. Bitcoin having a nice little move. Ethereum still leading the game. It's a good sign. Solana hit 200. Now it's in a pullback right there. We hit 200 and we're pulling back. Why is it every time we hit one of those lines, we pull back? Why you got to sell, man? Why you got to sell? Bitch. Anyway. So that's it. There we go. Arbitrume's up 11% on the day. All right. Yeah, there we go. All right, guys, here we are. We are here for the money. All right. Any moment now, something's going to erupt. Something's going to run. All right. This is the spot now where we are going to make it. This is the WAGMI moment. For anybody who's wondering, this is the WAGMI moment. There are a number of cryptos that we have between Mantra, between Pendle, between DeFinity, between DevvE. There are a number of them. They're all real world asset based. They're all institutional based. And it is only a matter of time before an explosive move comes. When that explosive move comes, then that is going to lead to a cascade effect, just like I tell you with Bitcoin to Ethereum, and then from Ethereum to the major caps, and then from the major caps to the mid caps, and then from the mid caps to the low caps. That cascade effect is going to happen when each one of these reaches a certain level. Now, we're not going to take advantage of the Mantra one because Mantra is just the one token for me. But with DevvE as an ecosystem, if you will, there are a lot of people in DevvE who are in Rocky and Blocky and 100X and CCC and all of these different meme coins that I have talked about for a while. And guess what? Once everybody starts getting a little bit fat on the calf from DevvE, then most likely we're going to see all of those other meme coins start to really, really spike and pull people into whatever the narrative is, whatever the opportunity is. So It is a matter of moments, in my opinion, before we start to see some movement and things start to get a little bit crazy. We are not in the banana zone. We are at the start of it, though. Ethereum is breaking out. We're almost at an all-time high. Bitcoin maintains at an all-time high. Bitcoin is ready for another big surge. It's consolidated for a little period of time, gone a little bit sideways, dumped back down, let you cleanse yourself back down there at the 112, 113 level. Boom, back up to 121,000 right now. It is ready for the next big surge. Matter of fact, don't believe that. This is what happened the last time. Then it broke out, and then it went boom, 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 boom. And what percentage did it go to? From the breakout point, it went up 15%. If it goes up 15% from the breakout point here, there it is, 132, 134, 135,000. So get ready, because we are about to go so much higher. And that is going to lead to more this, which is going to lead to more this, which is going to lead to more this, which is going to lead to Luna Classic finally pumping, which is going to lead to DevvE finally pumping, which is going to lead to a cascade of money that takes us all the way down into CC Coin, CC Cash, BCB, Buddy, and everything else that's in these ecosystems. So that's all I got to say about that. So we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to hit that like button. Remember to share the content with as many people as possible. I do this because of you. So if you help me, then I help you, and we're all super happy. That's the way it works, right? Anyway, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining